evening and welcome to episode 12 of 16-Bit Rivals with myself, Flawed Gamer, and these two handsome gentlemen, Callum and Ridges. How are we doing, gentlemen?
Hello. Yeah, good, thanks.
Really good. That was the first time we did it, and we did it so well as well. That was just—it's
But
amazing how professional we are.
I know. I mean, we just do one take, no stoppages, nothing. It's just one huge take.
We don't
we should
point
just
at
go-
each
we
other
should
in
just
the
go
wrong
live.
place.
No, we don't point in the wrong places. We don't do anything. We just go straight in. We just go live like that. And
It's
here
all
we
natural and completely unscripted. And
Yeah.
I can't emphasize that enough. No script.
Exactly. No, there's no script. There's no. We just go, and it is what it is. And we're very new, and we're actually recording on something else again today. So, we're just in our experimentation stage. Come
Another
along with us
tinker.
for the rides. Richard loves a tinker. He's the tinker man.
Mm.
He
We
is
are
the tinker man.
crazy.
Yeah,
We're
Mr.
absolutely
Teacher Pen.
crazy.
Yeah,
Tell
we
us
just
to teach your pen there.
That's-
Four
Yeah.
colours
Make
in
some
one.
notes just in case, you know.
exactly. Make some notes. Who knows what's going to happen? You never know what's going to happen on an
Green for
episode.
good,
16
red for wrong.
Rivals. Callum, how's your week been?
Oh, not bad. I mean, it feels like an age since we had a chat. I can't remember how many weeks ago it was now.
It
that
was. It was several.
several
was
3 weeks. I mean,
3 weeks. Yeah.
I've literally left the country, come back,
You
destroyed
have.
my kitchen,
Yep.
and overall, as you can tell from my very bronze tan, I'm sensational.
Ah, you
Absolutely
are sensational. You are
Yeah,
sensational.
I've had a lovely time. I've had a nice week, and I'm feeling good. How about
Mm.
you, Flawed? How's your week been?
My week's been mostly work, mostly getting stuck in. I had to move a mini today that had not moved for 16 years.
Hmm,
A little envious.
that's a lot of years.
That's a lot of years not to be moving.
Mm.
I feel like I need a rest. But it was the wheels were seized, and we had to move it a distance, and we almost went Fast and Furious style as we had to tow it with my car, and it just started sliding where the wheels are just stuck like side to side. I was like, no, stop! we cannot now just destroy the city. But yeah, so that was fun. But other than that, I've been playing games, working hard, and doing a little bit of tidying and chores. What about you, Ridges? How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Been to and fro to London last 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, we had a
met
little meet as well. Yeah,
Unbelievable. I wasn't invited. Listeners of the channel, no invite whatsoever to Ben's working away. Unbelievable.
I know. We didn't get the invite to Tenerife.
No.
It's a valid point. Wait, that's awkward actually, because I did ask Laura, and unfortunately she said she only wants Tarconics to come, and I do not want Tark coming.
Don't we all?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's yes, we do all want Tarks to come, and I heard it's pretty easy.
But believe it or not, whilst working away, I didn't actually play many
Oh,
games. I took
no.
my Switch with me. I played a bit of Pokemon, but I didn't really play a lot. I watched a lot of rubbish TV.
Oh. Well, rubbish TV is also rubbish, but it can be cathartic.
And I discovered that La Liga is on ITV4.
I did not know that.
I watched
Is it really?
Barcelona Osasuna.
Oh, I wish I'd known that. Osasuna.
Hey!
Oh, that's a good one.
It is a good one. Oh, Sasuna.
He'd be saying that when he plays them.
Oh, I will.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And I'll give you a little hint. I actually already have about 3 times. I can't believe you set me up for that joke. It's one of my favourite ones.
I mean, there are so many puns. I think that
I love
puns and puns of them.
I love
We're on fire. We are on fire.
I love a word game. I love wordplay. Fantastic. It just shows that we smart. We smart.
So smart, big brain.
Yeah, big brain, big
Mm.
brain. Well, today there isn't a lot of news that we're going to discuss, but what we are going to discuss are actual games.
What?
Exactly. Who would have thunk it? Games.
I did not sign up to this.
Now, for those uninitiated, games are usually played with some sort of controller contraption and usually on a screen or a small screen, a large screen, even a keyboard. They could be played with keyboard and mice, and not the mouses. Yes, there you go. Callum demonstrated very well. And they can be all sorts of experiences. Recently, I have been myself playing Plague Tale Requiem.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing a Bayonetta 3, and I've been playing God of War. Callum has started a brand new save on a brand new game with a brand new concept on Football Manager. And Ridgers has been playing God of War as well, and Sonic Frontiers today started. So we want to give a good impression, sort of round up. What I want to do is discuss each game, how we feel about the game. So for Callum might talk about how it differs from FM22, and also then just for a little bit of fun, if we had to score it now, I know I haven't completed God of War, but if we had to score it now, what would we give it out of a good 16-bit rival 10? So who wants to start us off, chaps?
Me.
Good. Let's go, Callum.
Right, I'd like to start by not talking about Football Manager. Now, in Tenerife, I played a game, and I said to you both, I've been playing a game on my Switch, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. And I want you both to have a guess what it might have been. Now, you've got to consider it's a game I owned. It's not a new game.
Well,
I revisited it.
Is it Switch exclusive?
Yes.
Is it older than a year?
Yes.
Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
Yes,
I got back into Breath of the Wild, and I loved and hated it. Loved and hated it. It was very enjoyable in the main, but some of the I'm not very good at it, and some of the temples that you go into, where you have like the one where you got to beat like the what are they called? Guardian, yeah. Not fun. I'll be honest with you. I died a lot of times. I swore so many times.
I mean, being bad at a game can derail the experience.
Slightly, yeah. But I did genuinely enjoy it. I played it quite a bit over my holiday, and haven't picked it up since because I've had other options. And one of those options has been brand new Football Manager game, FM23. Yeah, it's another Football Manager game.
Another Football Manager game.
This game has been, how do you put it? Not received that well, I would say, on the whole.
Oh, really?
As by the Football Manager community, or by critics, or just everyone?
Everyone.
What's the main criticism behind?
The main criticism is it hasn't changed enough. So if I made both of you play FM22 and then an hour later, say, play FM23, the changes are very, very minimal, and people were quite frustrated about that. There were things that people wanted within the new game that just weren't addressed at all. The actual match engine itself is a lot better, in my opinion. There are errors in it, but there are with every game. There'll be a patch in a month's time, which in theory should patch out the little issues. People have issues around defending and that sort of thing. But on the whole, I think the match engine is a lot better. It's a lot more fun. We all call it chaos because you never really know what the hell's going on. Whereas on the previous game, I suppose because we played it for hours and hours and hours and hours, you did get into rhythms. You could sort of call a goal if it was coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, so FM23, in my opinion, it is a better game than FM22. Is it good enough to spend £40 on if you've already got FM22? Maybe not. And that's the first time I've said that about a new Football Manager game for a number of years.
Do you think because it's on Game Pass, maybe that's had a sort of why they maybe not changed it too much?
Potentially, they've put it on PlayStation as well, and then that got
Mm.
delayed, which loads of people were very angry about. Because I think for the first time, people were gonna try FM, and it was on PlayStation. Now it's been delayed. That they might actually just not bother. But a lot of people were saying the people who are getting FM on PlayStation are probably the same people who play FIFA every year. So they're gonna pick up FM and they're gonna go, "What the hell is this?" Like, because the graphics, there's been a lot of talk about the graphics engine, not the match engine, but the actual graphics engine, and they've been comparing it from 10 years ago. So from 2013 to now to FM23, and the graphics almost look worse now than they did in 2013. It's worth looking at. Like a few people have done videos about them, literally comparing them side by side, and it's like, yeah, these are basically the same. And a very, very high profile content creator called Zealand basically came out and said, the graphics haven't improved and I'm sick of it now. I've had enough, which was obviously met by the whole community like, wow.
Like, quick question. Obviously, everybody's going to find fault with something, and I get it.
Yeah,
Hasn't advanced much. But in terms of for a game like Football Manager, it's text. Like you read, like what in what terms can it? How much can it improve? Do we want a new font, a new splash of color, or maybe like a background of a player as you're going through? What's the thinking? Where do people want? Because there's only so much you can do. You're searching for players. If you mess the background up so much, you're going to muddy what you're watching.
You're right. I mean, and like the actual menus and stuff like that are fine. Like they are fine, and they're very, very similar, if not exactly the same to the last year. So I think this is always the issue with a game that comes out year on year. What actually do you alter? And it just doesn't look like they've altered an awful lot. They've added a couple of things in there which people have gone, fair enough. But the main issue is the actual match. So when you're watching the match, the graphics just aren't good enough. And you compare them to games that released in like the early 2000s, and like mobile games are better than them now. The actual graphics of it. And I suppose people are just going, why? Why is it still in this ship? Why are we not progressing? Why is it not improving? Are there limitations there? Can they not run the game on certain, are they trying to make it a game where people with bad laptops can still play the game, and that's, it's almost like the PS4 PS5 debate where you're releasing games on PS4 still and it's holding back the PS5. Are they releasing FM in a state where they want it to be available to everybody when in reality most people who play it now have a reason? I don't know. It's a big rabbit hole, but
it's an odd one, isn't it? Because you could still perhaps you could ship Football Manager even without the actual game part of it, if you know what I mean, because you're doing a manager. Back in the day, you didn't have any.
No, it's just text, wasn't it?
Just a text, and you'd have it flash like go, and I used to love that actually. But there's no reason why you can't do both. And if you haven't got the capability to do
change the layout and stuff, because a lot of people like they make their own, don't they? They have their own layouts that they can put in and import and do whatever, because it's very customizable, isn't it?
It is, and I think you're right. I think that's probably why they don't change the actual interface of the menus. But it's not necessarily that people are complaining about. It's just features. They wanted to make the game more and more immersive and make you genuinely feel like you're managing a football club. And there's still parts of it where you're like, it just doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like that. And I mean, like I say, I don't think it's a bad game. I don't. I thought FM22 was great. I thought FM21 was great. I thought FM20 was great. I think this is still great, but is it a big enough step? So to sort of close, because I appreciate I've been talking for a while now, to sort of close off the FM23, you sort of said, if I was to give it a rating, what would I give it? And I think I'd give it a 7 out of 10. And it's a good game. It's not improved enough to be a great game, in my opinion. I will still play it loads. It will still be the only game I stream because I still love it. But
what was your score for FM22?
See, FM22, I would have probably gone to an 8, which seems stupid to say that because they are very similar games.
Yeah.
but it's a year later. So I think that's why you've got to change the bar. I don't know. Maybe I'm being slightly harsh, but
No,
I would
I
be
agree.
intrigued to know what other
If it's
people
not
think.
changed too much, it's either and like there's a bit more critiquing from people, then it deserves a mark down.
Yeah,
It's like time moves on, doesn't it? So you can't necessarily expect a game could have been a 10 ages ago, but if it releases in that condition again today, just because it was a masterpiece then doesn't make it a masterpiece now.
absolutely.
And
Yeah. No, I
how are
totally
you
agree.
getting on with Blue Rip?
Yeah, well, I mean, I must admit, I haven't streamed an awful lot of it yet. I did a couple of streams last week. I'll start again this week. I'm with Real Sociedad, and we started okay. I mean, it's one of those that you've got to. The start of a save is tricky, and I didn't have this the first time round because when I first started streaming, I was streaming to nobody really. If I was lucky, Ridges was in there, but it was really I was streaming to nobody, so I was able to sell the save to myself. Whereas now I'm really fortunate that I have got people who come in and watch the streams from the off, and that's a very different feeling to the first time round when I started. So I'm really conscious that I want it to be entertaining straight away. I want this to be. Whereas a lot of people joined Chorley in season 9 or season 8, and it was already like established. I had a whole backstory to the whole thing, and people could come in and go, "What is this?" And I'd be like, "Oh, it's brilliant. This happened. This happened. This happened." And we've got this man who's only 5'1", and we literally have a lizard up front, and he breathes fire, and and we had all this backstory. Whereas now I'm like, yeah, this is just Real Sociedad. Even in the transfer window, I was like, right, I'll try and make it my own Real Sociedad. I could afford one player. I signed one player, and I couldn't. It's tricky.
I think that's the balance is going to be different times to bounce off, and you don't moving team to team you might not have attachment to, unless of course you decide to try to bring like a special favorite player along with you on your
That's
journey.
exactly
That
my
might
plan.
be a bit difficult.
It's exactly my plan, though, Floyd. To be honest, I think the key would be not the club; it will be the players. I think we need to get attached to the players, and that's why I'm going to predominantly try and bring in younger players. Like there's a few wonder kids, which is what they call them, which are players with massive potential. Get a couple of those, and then hopefully from club to club, I can take them with me. So rather than going, oh, it's Chorley, it would be, well, it's Blue Rip. We are the blue teams. And look, we've got Andreas Sheldrup, and he's come from club to club with us. We've got Fran Garcia, and he's come from club to club with us. And they're our boys. Like that's our core.
Nigel.
Yeah, exactly. Tiny Nigel, But like that's what we want. I think that's the only way it's going to work. And I'm genuinely a bit nervous about it. I even now, once I've started it up, that it will be a success. Because even now, like if you come into my chat, every stream someone mentions Chorley, and like I'm really glad of that, and I'm really glad of the legacy of that because it got me to where I was. But at the same time, I almost want people to forget it now. Like
I think Chorley was a journey, and I do feel like could you have done that for another 10 seasons? For example, if you won the Champions League in a couple seasons, like it doesn't feel like the journey of doing something again never feels the same as the first time you do it.
I was really fortunate that the narrative of the story ended where it did. Like it sealed a bow on it. I think like the only thing that would have been better is if we'd won the Champions League, but we still won a European competition and the Prem. So like it was a beautiful way to end it. So it's the anxiety of the content creator, I suppose, because everybody's streaming it because it's a brand new game. Everybody's streaming it, and it's about going, come and watch mine rather than other people's, and that's the challenge, isn't it?
Well, look, you've got a good concept. You're entertaining, and people are going to tune in. So I just think, just crack on, and make Blue Rip something, and then we will see, and bring those boys along with you.
People really struggle to pronounce Blue Rip.
Blue Rip.
I mean, I know it's blue. It's blue Europe. So I've put it together, and it does look a bit wordy. But like it's Blue Rip. It's not hard.
It's not hard. Blue Rip.
Blue Rip. Anyway, sorry for taking about 10 minutes of the podcast.
No. That's what we're here for discussion. Okay, so we'll move on to Sonic Frontiers, who I know Ridges actually started so it's the freshest in your head at the moment.
Yeah.
You've just streamed it today. Obviously, you've got very raw impressions of it, and they might develop and change over time. But give us your quick impressions. It's very difficult to score a game after how many hours did you play it?
2.
2. But if you were going to score it, give us your impressions and then give
8.
us a little quick.
I knew it. I heard you on the stream today.
You went straight in with the 8. I thought you were going to give a bit of fluff first and then go.
No,
that's it. Let's move on to flawed now.
Currently, it's an 8.
Okay.
Again, I've played every Sonic game. Most of the new ones, they disappoint, unless the ones that like the Manias and the Origins, the original games. But no, pleasantly surprised. It looks good. It plays good. The open world's really good. The way they've brought back in the levels is very well done. There are challenging parts, so it's not just for little kids. I'm thoroughly enjoying the story so far, and I like the sort of there's like big bosses and the way they make it. It does feel like you're fighting a big boss. You're jumping up high over rocks and stuff to get to them to attack. The map is massive. There apparently is more than one map, so I don't know. I haven't got that far yet, but it's the best Sonic game for me since Adventures.
Quick one.
Yeah,
the music. So Sonic's back in the day was known for some really good music.
Yeah.
What's it like now?
If nothing
standing out at the moment.
No. So you've got that the main area music, which is okay. The level music is very high tempo because it's that speed, but it's a bit more dancey. He sort of, you do get into it, but nothing like Chemical Zone or Green Hill or anything.
Yeah, like the classics. But I mean, it's been received okay. I mean,
they give it a 7.2. I think it was
on Metacritic. I think it's sitting at something like a 75, which is good for a Sonic game. Don't get me wrong, but it's not going to set the world alight. I mean, my initial I was considering. I mean, I want to get in it. I'm not the biggest Sonic fan, not since I was a kid, but I do love Sonic. My first so some of the criticisms have been about the open world being a bit bland, but for me that doesn't look too bad to me. But the one thing I just can't seem to get over are these. I think I said this to you earlier, and it's these robotic silvery enemies that just don't look good to me. They just look boring, and I don't know. I just can't get over it. And they all look like, and then the big one just looks like a big version of the small ones that you just smash.
I don't know. I liked it. It fits in with the designs, I think. It wasn't something that really jumped out at me. Just enemies.
Is it something? I'm very much a Sonic noob. Is it a completely different game to a normal Sonic game?
Very well, yeah.
Sort of. So, yes and no. Like
the open world.
Okay.
But it just splits between sort of two. There are 2D style levels. They do the targeting. There's a lot of the 3D Sonics in there, and the 3D Sonics have really soured the reputation of Sonic as like Sonic for the youngsters is not going to be well loved because
even with the films.
Maybe the films would do it some good because they are received a little bit better, and it's good that they're there. But in terms of games, I don't think newer people.
Sonic Adventure, which came out in the Dreamcast, was the very first sort of 3D Sonic, and it was very good. And Sonic Adventures 2 was pretty decent. But everything from then,
which was a long time ago.
So when was Sonic Adventures out?
2001.
Wow. So you're saying there's not been a good one for like 20 years?
Not like
Oh.
there's been a couple received a little bit better. I think Sonic Colors was one that was received okay,
Colours
but
is-
nothing. But it's been very wishy washy and mostly terrible.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, so you said you would score it 8 out of 10.
currently. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that might just be because I'm a massive Sonic fan.
Yeah.
Um,
Obviously, like I
maybe-
say, 2 hours in,
yeah.
the score isn't like.
Let's
oh,
just say I
you
could
know,
have easily played
Hmm.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. It went quick. I was really enjoying it. So, like on that sort of feeling,
Okay.
yeah, 8 for me. But maybe it's a 7.5 if I take the excitement
Yeah.
away.
Okay, that's
That's
still a good score. That's still a good
Mhm.
score, and it's in line with like again reviews and Metacritics are people's opinion at the end of the day, but it is it's a good indication of a good or bad game. Very rarely does a game get like an average of 5, and then someone might like it, but it's still not going to be a good game. And you've also been playing God of War.
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
I started it on Friday. So it was away.
Mm.
Yeah, very good. Takes you, straight in,
Mm.
where it left off. I'm enjoying it. I'm not streaming it because I like to get involved into it. I wouldn't be very good chatting with anyone.
Which is fair. Which is fair.
Yeah.
Certainly, what they've done has improved the game, and I can see why it's got a 10 out of 10. I
What
haven't
have
played
they?
enough
What
of
have
it
they
to-
done? What have they done to improve it?
Okay. No, if you were to score it now, would you also give it a 10 out of 10? Really?
I would probably give it a 9
Okay.
currently
Currently, obviously,
because I don't know the story. The
Yeah.
story's
the story I think
developing.
is very key in God of War. I've played a ton of God of War, so I may as well even just give my overall impressions. And before I even played it, I read a lot of the reviews, and a lot of the reviews were sort of picking out things that I was thinking, this doesn't sound. It was almost like they were taken aback by the presentation of God of War. And I think I was saying this earlier. In terms of set pieces, storytelling, acting, directing, I don't think there's a game better. I do not think there's a game better at weaving a story. You can look at something like Last of Us, the high production values, but the characters they've built in the game, just the overall presentation of it and the like one shot that they do, so everything's done in like one whole shot, is honestly in video games, it's untouchable. And my talking point for the podcast before I'd even played it was going to be, can that sort of assuage people's opinion to say, we can forgive the game being samey or the puzzles being boring, and do you kind of forget that because you get swept up in the moment of something that's sort of grandiose? I've played a ton of it now, and I have to say everything has improved over the first game. It's very familiar, don't get me wrong, but everything has been improved. The story again is subjective, but the characters they bring in, and I do like, I have to say, minor spoiler alert. So if you want to fast forward 30 seconds, I will, or maybe longer than 30 seconds. It's not a spoiler for the story, but however, you get to play as Loki in the game. Or, okay, that's probably a spoiler for Atreus. You get to play as Atreus. Apologies if you
That's
don't
it.
know.
We've been
Yeah.
cancelled.
If you
Unbelievable.
played the first one, you know that his giant name is Loki.
Yeah, but I haven't, and I couldn't wait to play the second game. I've just been so excited.
Well, if you played the first one, you will know the story. Anyway, you will know he's Loki. But you play as Atreus in the game, and right, okay. Again, if you don't know, I'm going to spoil God of War 1.
Hello
God of
and
War 1.
welcome to God of War spoilers.
Don't forget, God of War 1, if you haven't yet played it, it's been on the PC. It was released in 2017. We are free.
I think you're in dangerous territory here. I think you're in dangerous territory purely because there will be people playing the first game because the new one's out.
Okay, good point. Okay, I won't spoil anything. All I will say is I much prefer playing as Atreus than I do Kratos. Bearing in mind that Kratos is the main character of the game.
That little brat.
He's an older brat now.
He's still a brat.
But I think his character is fantastic in this. You get sort of companion characters, and I didn't expect to enjoy God of War as much as I was doing, because although I loved the first one, I was very like a bit on the gameplay. And in this one, the puzzles for me they're basically the same as the first game, and they're very repetitive. The combat, like I say, is good. It gets even better when you play as Loki, and the companions are really good. The storytelling, the acting, the cinematography is really good. The side quests are really good. If I was to score God of War right now, I would give it a 10.
No way. You can't give it a 10. You've just said the puzzles aren't very good. You can't give a game 10 out of 10 if the puzzles are rubbish.
We can.
Yeah. No, you can't. Right. Every
are...
review Flawed ever gives from now on is flawed.
I want to say,
if the puzzles were something that was to advance the game.
Completely disagree. You have just said it is perfect. 10 out of 10 is perfect.
No.
Oh, don't you challenge me on this.
Whoa.
Don't you challenge me.
Nothing.
10 out of 10 is perfect.
Nothing is perfect.
Exactly. So 10 out of 10 games don't exist. They don't exist.
No, they do, because 10 out of 10, you need to set apart the masterpieces.
Right, hold on. Let me challenge you. Not out of 10. Out of 100. Is it 100 out of 100?
Yes.
That is outrageous. Unbelievable.
He's just angry that it got released.
Yeah, that's true, because obviously we did talk about this, and we did say it was Cal said it's not going to get released. Here it is. We're playing it.
Send him a picture as soon as I got home.
Can't believe this.
I'll throw my copy to you now.
Thanks. It'd have been really good if I'd had my copy then, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, because you've also
I have got it. Yeah, Laura's playing it right now.
Actually got it. Yeah.
Oh, she's gone to
I
it.
own it. Yeah, she's on to it now. She finished the first one.
Already? Wow.
I know. She's a gamer. She is a gamer.
So yeah, I mean, I would like I say, I don't think necessarily if you give a game 10 out of 10, you think it's perfect. And I don't think God of War is perfect, but I think, and this is where I'm sort of going around.
I just don't get it. I don't get it,
because you got to distinguish, like the score is.
If it's not perfect, it's not 10.
There's no such thing as a perfect game.
Exactly. There's no such thing as a 10 out of 10 game.
But then you should.
What would you give Elden Ring?
9.
Interesting.
And this is where we'll come on to another discussion where we have. But I want to talk about another game. Another game I've been playing. Another game that I completed actually. So I've got a full opinion on. So I'll give a quick opinion on another game, which was the Plague Tale. Very good. Not a massive fan of the gameplay, the acting, and the presentation of it. Very good.
10 out of 10.
I knew he was going to do that.
11 out of 10.
I knew he was going to do that. We've been doing this too long. I knew he was going to pick up on that. So, if I had to score, I haven't completed the Plague Tale Requiem. If I had to score that, I would give it an 8. I have, however, been playing and completed Bayonetta 3. People were going crazy on the ending, and I was like, I'm never going to play a Bayonetta game again. Bayonetta is batshit crazy. It is literally batshit crazy. Look, we're talking about a game where a woman dresses up with her hair Like if you're
course.
unfamiliar, her costume is
Amuse-bouche.
made out of her hair, and then she also summons demons using her hair. So when she summons demons, she gets naked and does little dances and fights big bad.
And that's what I thought buys the game.
Yeah. And we got demons that are big trains. There's a big train demon that you summon, and it just goes and just rolls. It's just batshit crazy, but it's crazy in a really good way, and it's really really fun to play. The
Mhm.
weapons are really really good.
And it's 10 out of
9
10.
I would give it. I'm very close to giving it a 10 out of 10. The story in Bayonetta, I don't know why people are so crazy about it. I don't really want to spoil the end. It wasn't fantastic, but I never really looked at Bayonetta as like something as a fantastic story. It's just a bit of like.
So
a bit
why was it
fun.
a 9?
And it was. Why was it a 9? So why was it not a 10?
Yeah.
It was a 9
Just
because
not
the clothes
perfect,
came
is it?
off.
It's nothing to do with not being perfect. Really, because
She had 3 nipples.
because in presentation wise, I wouldn't say it was like you know, as an overall package. If it like it can be ugly in places, but it wasn't ugly as people saying. The performance wasn't fantastic in some of the bigger things, but overall it was really really good. But it was really 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 fun to play, and like really enjoyed using all the different types of weapons, trying to beat a score. It was hard as well. The challenges to get bigger, better scores was just drew me in, and I completed it and I played it and really, really, really loved it. I have to say, yeah, 9 out of 10. So we'd gone 8, 9, 10. So we've sort of given a good view of the of our impressions of these new games. We can update these impressions when we complete them. We'll talk about when we
I
completed
feel
them.
we need to make our own little grading system.
Yeah, we do a 16-bit rival
No.
review.
No, I refuse to be involved in the same grading system as Flawed. I refuse.
Well,
But maybe,
look,
maybe
I'll
we
have
could
my own
make,
separate one.
you know, 5 things. So like gameplay,
Look,
difficulty.
yeah,
know,
yeah.
stuff like that.
But I mean, we could do. Like, a lot of people have different takes on it. Some people don't like to do the scoring system at all. But I mean, it's there, and it's just an impression. If you listen to what I'm saying about a game, you get my overall vibe on a game. I just will say, tomorrow they're announcing the Game Awards nominations for the
Nominees.
Game Awards. Nominees. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. Nominees. Nominees for the Game Awards. And I want to just quickly run down a list of games that are released this year. And I've just handpicked ones I think are in the discussion. We could see. We'll just have a quick guess what we think going to be in those 6 games,
Okay.
and then we can say what we want to win, what we think is going to win.
Okay.
And then I think we can wrap that up, and we can then play a nice little mini game and get some rest. Right. So Ridges has already held up 2. I think it's very, very, very clear, and I don't think there's going to be any arguments. Any arguments. Ridges could keep going because he's got a big
It's
collection.
got every game that was released this year.
There's going to be no arguments that God of War and Elden Ring are the 2 front runners.
Yeah.
The Metacritic's currently sitting at 96 and 94. Elden Ring at 96. God of War at 94. There's no arguments. These are going to be in the game of year. These nominees, you may as well put them in, write them in blood, ink, whatever. They're in. They are in. So that means there's 4 slots left. So I want to run through the games that have released this year. Sonic's not getting in there. I can tell you that now. But right, so from the list that I've just put together, from the list, I'll run through this. Then we can discuss what we think might be there. So, Pokemon Arceus, Dying Light 2, Horizon Forbidden West, Sifu, Elden Ring, Gran Turismo 7, Triangle Strategy, Tunic, Ghostwire Tokyo, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Mario Strikers, Neon White, Live Alive, Xenoblade 3, Last of Us Part 1 is debatable whether that can be concluded, Splatoon 3, A Plague Tale Requiem, Mario and Rabbids, Gotham Knights, Bayonetta 3, Sonic Frontiers, God of War. So that's just a quick little pick of, and there might be other ones, but
there's
What do
5.
we think? So there's four spots there.
I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters about the other
No,
ones.
sorry. So how many spots?
No,
are
it
there in
doesn't.
total?
And
6?
I do agree with you there. They're not tipping God of War and Elden Ring. But if
No.
we were to put 4 in,
Horizon will probably be in there, I'd guess.
Horizon will be in. Yeah, Horizon will
would-
be in. I think.
Arceus would be in there.
No, it's not going.
No,
in.
I don't think it's going to be in there.
Pokemon won't go in. No, I think potentially because you always need they always want like an indie representation.
Splatoon?
No,
Could
that won't be in
Splatoon
there.
get it?
Tunic
No.
will do well.
I don't think so. I think Tunic might be in there. I think Gran Turismo 7 might be in there. I think Sifu might be in there.
I was thinking Sifu.
So I think
Sifu's very different.
I personally think it would be Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon Forbidden West, Sifu, Gran Turismo 7, and Tunic. They're the 6 I think are going to
Tunic
be
for
in there.
Game of the Year.
Yeah, I think because they like a. I know Sifu would be technically
It's
an indie
good.
representation.
Game of the Year.
And I think
Not for me.
possibly, Xenoblade 3 might tip like Tunic out of it because it was very well received. But because it's such a niche game, the way the Game Awards work is obviously, for example, if IGN are putting forward their game of the year, they'll get together and discuss and try to argue the cases. But if you, for example, I've got a game like a JRPG, which is quite niche, you might have the one reviewer who reviewed it really well and say, I really want this to be put forward, but 90% of the team won't have played it. So something which has been more readily played is more chance to get through. So it's not even about the quality of a game. It's more about the exposure of the game and it's a little bit politics. But it's just, but yeah, I think Plague Tale has a good chance as well. Plague Tale, because that was, that's been received very well. I mean, I think we can rubbish off something like Gotham Knights. Don't think that's getting in. Mario and Rabbids is not likely to even be in the discussion, even though it's received well.
Surely Splatoon, because of its sales alone, would be a contender.
I don't think they take into consideration sales.
No?
No, not really. Ghostwire Tokyo might be in the discussion. I don't know because it was kind of niche. For me, my 6 would probably look a little bit different. And before God of War, Triangle Strategy was probably my favorite game of the year. But then Xenoblade 3, it's hard to pick from that. And now God of War and Bayonetta 3, these are all really, really strong. I would say out of God of War and Elden Ring, I want God of War to win. I think Elden Ring's going to win.
Why do you want? Right, so I am here sitting on the fence of I haven't played either, and so but I have watched quite a lot of Elden Ring, and that stream. I've watched loads of Elden Ring, and I have seen quite a bit of the new God of War already. I think it would be a real shame if God of War won. And I'll tell you why I think that. God of War is undoubtedly a very well-written, very well-made game. It's a really good game. Elden Ring is genre-defining. Elden Ring is a game which has taken open worlds and completely changed them. It took Dark Souls.
I don't think it did.
Oh, it did.
I don't think it did. I don't think it did.
People are going to design open worlds around Elden Ring now.
I see,
and it's been Breath of the Wild for years.
No, but I still don't think so. Right, I think they did something for Souls games and redefined the Souls genre. I agree on that. I don't think they redefined open worlds, and I'll tell you why. I'm enjoying God of War a lot more than I did Elden Ring, and I loved Elden Ring. Don't get me wrong. And some of the best times I've had this year are battling bosses with bridges and trying to get it. And I think it will win purely on that basis, like you say, that God of War is almost very blurry.
I'm very out of focus.
For me, I would probably pick Elden Ring. I love God of War, but like you say, I think Elden Ring, just for pure difficulty as well. I mean, the amount of people who got introduced to Souls game.
Yeah,
I
from
agree.
it.
Yeah, I agree.
And then suddenly went, oh my god, these games are really challenging but really fun. And then went and played the rest of them. I know you can change the level of God of War and whatnot, but there is no level difficulty on Elden
But
Ring.
we looked at
we've seen people do it with no level 1, no armor, and stuff like that. I think, God of War storytelling, the acting, phenomenal. But again, you've got that story and a couple of side missions, and once that's done, you're done.
I can literally
just keep playing and playing and playing and playing.
You could play it, and I do. Like, I get the argument for Elden Ring. Don't get me wrong. I get the argument for Elden Ring. This is why, obviously, if you were to pick, like, if we were to have a 16, if we managed to get on the Game Award panel
next year,
when we do that, we'll be getting our game codes. We can discuss all the games and put our thing. And that's what you have a discussion with. If it was a clear cut, then
but we already know what next year's Game of the Year is, don't we?
We do.
Plucky Squire.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Plucky
easily.
Squire.
You may as well just get it sorted now. Go to 2024.
Maybe at the end of the year we should do a list. We'll compile together and we'll do like a review of a top 5 combined games. We'll rate a load of games.
You know why it doesn't work though, Game of the Year? Because you're both making really valid points for both games, and it's because they're different. Like, they're different genres of game. Like, and so yes, God of War probably is the best story-based game of the year, and Elden Ring probably is the best open world.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, God of War is very linear. I know you can branch off and do things, but it's very linear game. And don't get me wrong, I love that. Don't just throw in open world all the time just because everyone's doing it. I don't think Elden Ring, I don't think it really redefined the open world. I don't really think it's been redefined since Breath of the Wild, if I'm honest. I feel like people have just taken Breath of the Wild and jumped off the back of that. For example, Genshin Impact, Assassin's Creed did the same sort of thing, and they're sort of just using some of the ideas. But
no, I agree.
In terms of
not many games where you can use the weapons with the weather.
I mean, it had so many different systems, and
people are still finding new things to do on it.
Exactly, but I mean, that's why I just don't think. I mean, with Elden Ring, it's a fantastic game, but I just think God of War, for me personally, like I just can't even remember anything like notable about anything story wise with Elden Ring. The game.
But that's not
No,
the game,
I know,
is it?
yeah. And again, subjective.
It's not best story of the year.
No,
it's
not. But Game of the Year means different things to different people. So, for example, Game of the Year, if you think it's like graphic, like when we had the discussion on a previous episode about where would you rank what like exactly, like it would be, it's going to mean something different to someone else. Game of the Year, and Game of the Year, you could say, is it the quality of the game, or is it the game that defined the year? For example, in the pandemic, Game of the Year, I can't remember what one Game of the Year
was. It not Animal Crossing?
Should have been Animal Crossing.
No, but so it wasn't the game. So you sort of jumped in there with what I was going to put. Arguably, the game of that year that defined that year was Animal Crossing. It might not have been the highest quality one or the most, but it sold a truckload of copies. It was in the, like, people were making talk shows using the game. It was it was arguably the game of the year, because it was like, this is people coming together on the game. And again, we're not talking about quality or music or story.
See, the funny thing is, I believe if I played both of those games from start to finish, I'd prefer God of War. So it's not me going from the viewpoint of what game I would prefer, because I do think God of War is definitely a game that I'd rather do. I like a story-based game. I tried Elden Ring, I didn't like it. But that's my personal preference. I think subjectively, it's for me, it's just Elden Ring. I would be disappointed if it doesn't win. Just because I think it should. But like I say, that's opinion again. It's opinion again. But I just think I don't know.
Ultimately, it's like let's be honest. None of us are gonna sit there crying into our cereal if
No.
one game doesn't win. And I would like just to see the internet burn of something like Gotham Knights just being randomly voted Game of the Year. What?
Frontiers.
What? So Sonic
Was
Frontiers at least seems okay.
Was it
Got-
It Takes Two last year? Is that what won it
No,
last year?
oh yeah, no, I think it
No,
might
It
have
Takes
done.
Two did win, yeah.
It did win, yeah. I think It Takes Two won, which was that was a phenomenal game. Don't
It
get me wrong,
was,
that
but once
really
again,
good,
it's
yeah.
like it is a funny one. It's but
Yeah.
this is why I hate shows like Britain's Got Talent when you have an exceptional singer going up against a saxophone player. You're like, well, how can you compare these
Yeah.
talents? They're different talents.
But
it's
also,
different
but
games.
that's why it's difficult. Then this is what I'm saying. This is why arguably it doesn't matter, and we could use the British Got Talent, for example. If you've got a saxophone player against a singer, and this is why I don't like singers in that type of talent show.
Totally
either,
agree. Totally agree.
because right, if you interview 100 people, how many people are going to say they prefer listening to a saxophone than listening to someone
Yeah.
sing? So
Yeah.
when you're voting, you've already got 9 out of the 10 votes before. It doesn't matter about the talent or how good they are. You've already swung the vote into one way, because it's people are always going to like it. And again, it's the same thing with what I was saying about Xenoblade 3. If you've got more people like certain genre, you're going to have more people vote for that game out of just by numbers. And it doesn't equality doesn't, like, we can safely say that the 6 games that get nominated tomorrow, I believe I may have already played and found enjoyment in all of them, and will have varying degrees of opinion on.
Gotham Knights.
Unless it's Gotham Knights, which I haven't played nor have any interest of playing.
No.
And even when I watched it, it doesn't even look appealing. But so yeah, I think so we'll wrap up this discussion and say I would like to see God of War, even though God of War 2018 won Game of the Year then. For me, it's I think if it carries on the trajectory and hits the landing, would be my good Game of the Year this year. Even such strong triangle strategy and Xeno, I don't know. I'd have to. I mean, there is recency bias as well. I'm currently playing it and enjoying it at the moment, so it's very fresh. So yeah.
Sorry, I just won a Venomoth on eBay. It's a great day. It was a
Venomoth.
Yeah, an actual one. No, the Pokemon card. It was a very heated last minute, so I apologize for being quiet there, but I got outbid about 3 times. But I won it, everyone.
Well done,
me. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, honestly.
There was something. I was going to talk about it, but we'll see what Callum thinks. And that was all these leaks of Pokemon.
Ridges has been like, we have a little chat, and Ridges has been spoiling games left, right, and centre.
He was like, even though Callum in this podcast.
Spoilers, yeah. Well, come on, I'm spoiling games that have been out for years.
I just think
Ridges is spoiling
it's
games
really
that haven't been out
annoying.
yet.
It's everywhere. I've had to block a few things because
I've seen nothing. I've seen nothing, and I follow a plethora, which is a good word, of Pokemon Twitter accounts and stuff like that. I've seen absolutely. I don't know how I've got away with it. I've got Discords that I'm in that are like Pokemon related. I've not seen anything. I've got very lucky. I've just got how many days? 5 days. I got 5 days before Ridges rings me the night before and goes, "Oh, by the way, did you know they all die?" Oh no!
That is the big game this week.
All I'm going to say is
week, yeah.
I am not happy with any of the 3-star evolutions.
Have you seen the final? Have you seen the final evolutions?
Yeah.
And you don't like any of them?
No.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter who you choose then, does it?
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Just don't use them. Just have a team of Lechonks and a Venomoth. Oh yeah, true. You like Donphan. I'll have Lechonks then.
Lechonk's an evolution.
Oh, don't tell me! Don't tell me why you for heaven! You two are the worst. I haven't spoiled anything today. and you two are just there.
I mean, I spoiled, like I said, I spoiled a game that's been out for many.
So
Maybe we should call this episode 12.
This might be quite good for
spoilers.
you. On multiplayer, you can. So I'm playing Violet. Well, I got them both, but I'm going to play Violet primarily. If you've got Scarlet, like Callum's getting, and we play together, and he joins my game, he can catch the Violet exclusive Pokemon.
I think
while
that's
he's
a
in my
really
game,
good.
which is
good
really
thing.
cool.
I like that.
I think
But also,
about,
he can steal my shinies.
Oh.
Any
and
shinies
I
that
like,
appear
I
in the
like
real
that
world.
too.
See, I don't like that.
Jan, this is
The
to you.
online, yeah,
I'm looking at
Jan,
you.
stop
You
looking at
dare
our
me nicking my
shinies.
shiny Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm kicking you out of my world. I think the online element could make this game one of the best Pokemon games ever. I really worry about elements of the game I've seen, but I think it could, because playing games with your friends is always better than playing games on your own. It could be very good. It could be very good. And that's why Floor's definitely going to buy it. Yes.
I am off.
Game of
Friday.
the year.
I'm
Out of
hoping it
nowhere.
arrives at 9 o'clock, like God of War did when I wasn't here. It's going to arrive at 5 p.m. now.
Yeah.
I need to make sure that Romeo Lance striking on Friday.
And aren't you planning on streaming it?
Oh yeah, all day.
Yeah, as on release date, you're planning on streaming it on release date.
Yep.
Yeah, so hopefully you do get it. Otherwise,
Midday.
that's not going to happen.
That would ruin Stream Deck.
Well, I'll just have to buy it digitally when I
Have free copies.
I did that with Elden Ring, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Oh, it's not arrived in the post. I'm going to buy it digitally.
I'm just going to
Here
buy it
is.
anyway.
Crap.
Why not?
Okay. Well, so that's. I think we can just insert one last topic. It's not as fresh, but it was the PSVR 2 news.
Ugh. Waste of money.
Mm.
Too expensive. It's effectively made the PS5 the accessory.
Yeah, it's a way
It's
to put
more
it. It's
expensive than
I
the
ju-
main
I just-
console.
I don't get it though, because like they've said about, like, other than maybe Horizon, they've said there's 11 games that you can play on it, and 9 of them are already available on other platforms. So it's
I mean,
like,
also
it's bad.
those games weren't necessarily available on launch. And okay, my argument is right. The actual is priced in line with what I was thinking it was going to be priced, because I saw the tech they were putting into it. It's a good piece of kit. I don't think it's going to be supported fantastically. PSVR wasn't really. I think they've missed the trick. I think what they should have done was make PSVR 2 compatible with PCs. They're going into the PC game, and then you are competing against the Oculuses, the Rifts, the Vives, whatever. Then you're saying we're giving you more value. Okay, it's 530 quid about a game, but you can play your Steam VR games. You know, all those little experiences. You can play Half-Life Alyx. You could do this. Suddenly, my library is huge. Suddenly, it's a really good price for my VR set, because I'm competing against 800, 900 pound sets, and this one's got really good. When you're just saying, right, you need this, but you also need a PS5 to buy it. And then there's not really that many games, and those games you can actually buy cheaper and experience cheaper. And I just think they missed a
And
huge
you can't play
trick.
the PS4 VR one.
And you can't play exactly no backwards compatible. And most of those games that they announced are actually coming out on the PS4 VR. So
Yeah.
if you do really want to play them on the original.
They've
I
had
do
a
believe,
shocker.
I do believe it's a strange decision. And again, for me, it's not even the pricing. The pricing have priced me out of it, because I might have considered it at a lower price. I didn't think it was going to happen, but I might have considered it at a lower price. 530 before you bought a game. So
it does come
ridiculous.
with the hand bit set this time, doesn't it?
Yes, it comes with
The-
controllers.
the-
It
the
comes
thing
with
with the-
and a headset, doesn't
And a
it?
headset, yeah.
So it does come with a fair few things, in fairness,
Yeah.
a
but
headset
it's just
as
too
well.
expensive. Yeah,
does,
it comes with a
yeah,
headset as
The
well.
last one
Yeah.
was all built, was it not?
Yeah, the last one didn't have a headset, and they didn't have controllers either.
No, because that was the problem. Everyone was buying a headset, and then they were the old PS3 with the bobbles and lights,
Yeah, the
and you
moves,
just couldn't get them
yeah.
anywhere.
I mean, there was a lot of problems with it,
Mm.
and it was obviously very tethered and wide. And this is still tethered by one.
'Cause
I
I've
just
made a
think,
profit
like
on
I
my
said, I
VR.
think I just think the PC thing would have been ideal. This can attach to your PS5, and you can play PS games, PC games rather, and that would have made it more exciting proposition. It's not a huge space to begin with. You've now just made a niche market even more niche by outpricing
If I'm being honest,
the market.
I think VR has been and gone.
No, I think it's gonna
No,
improve.
it's just not been done right.
No, it's just it's
It's
because
it's like everything. It's like
Mm.
Blu-ray, DVD, and all
Yeah.
that. It's just I don't know.
No, it's. I don't think it's been and gone, but I just think it's not going to have the appeal. So this is the argument: you push it forwards, and the more people that adopt it, the more money they've got to put into it, the more it advances quickly. Now, for example, if the Virtual Boy, when Nintendo did VR, kicked off and sold millions, they would have put more R&D into, and we would be miles ahead from where we are now.
Yeah, I agree. I think people can't afford what they want VR to be. I think at the moment, what you want it to be is like a fully immersive wireless experience, where you genuinely feel like you're there.
Well,
And at the moment, that's too expensive because like they've got the Oculus has got like a business version, which is like 1,500 quid, which is apparently absolutely fantastic, but it's £1,500, like, and it's I don't know. How
you can buy hit vests as well and things for your arms, your body. So when you get hit in games, it hits you.
Yeah, but how much money you spend? You know what I mean? This is the problem, isn't it?
It's not in a place where it's mass market appeal, and so in terms of putting money into it, you're almost throwing it down the drain if you're pouring so much money in R&D, but it's never going to make the return. Now, PSVR 1 probably sold around 5 odd million. It was like the Oculus Quest 2, where people started really adopting it, and even that wasn't huge numbers. We're talking similar numbers to PSVR, the original. I don't think this one's going to do it, and I do think it's until it starts moving forward, where it's almost like you've just got glasses, like having Cal's glasses on his head, but he can turn them into VR.
No, I totally agree.
It's into it fully immersive into thing. It's just not going to be appealing to the mass market, and it's a shame because there are some really good experiences out there on it, and I really enjoyed Half-Life, Alex, and even Beat Saber was fantastic.
Oh, Beat Saber's class. Even the Star Wars games are pretty good.
It's just a hassle, and then when it doesn't work, it's even more of a hassle, and you have more issues with it working than you would do a regular game.
I have absolutely no pull to a VR headset. Absolutely nothing. It just doesn't interest me in the slightest. I don't get it. Every game that I've seen to it is like, yeah, great, like. But I agree with you. Beat Saber, I've played it a couple of times. It is good fun. Is it enough for me to buy a headset? Absolutely not. Like, there's
certainly
nothing.
Not 530 quid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, to buy another PS5, that's ultimately what you're doing. You're buying the console again, which is already a very expensive console. All the games are very expensive. Like, it's just a massive, massive thumbs down from me. Anyway, 10 out of 10.
I hate everything about it. 10 out of 10.
You're looking at £1,000 if you want to get
exactly. Before you've bought the game.
Before you bought a game, yeah.
Before the game, it's £1,000. It's criminal.
It is, and yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I like a lot of technology these days. Just seems to be selling out for the sake of selling out because people.
So
apparently,
have you pre-ordered yours?
Richard has ordered 2 just in case.
Yeah, he's got it in 2 different colours. 2 different colours.
No, I'm not getting it.
We'll see. When's it out?
I've got an Oculus that I don't use. So
yeah,
I would much rather buy the cable so I can put the Oculus on my PC.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. And I've done that. I've put it on the PC, and it's good. And you don't even need a cable to do that either.
Oh, do you not?
No. You can get a program that allows you to just stream directly to the Oculus. That's how I played Half-Life Alex, and it's
Mm.
really good and really it works really well.
Now
So,
we know.
So
my recommendation.
another thing,
Mhm.
I used a Stream Deck the other day.
Oh, okay. I've used one also.
A
Very
Steam Deck.
impressed.
A
Steam
Steam
Deck.
Deck. I think you
Not
said Stream
Stream Deck.
Deck.
Oh, Steam Deck. Sorry.
I was really confused. I was like, I'm pretty
Steam
sure you've
Deck
been
is
using
a
one of those for a
different
while.
thing.
Yeah.
Very impressed.
Mm,
Very
yeah.
impressed.
Yeah.
It's a good piece of kit.
Very good piece of
Good.
kit.
Very good piece of kit.
Loads of people are talking about them very highly now, aren't they?
I
Mm.
definitely won't be getting one, but it's a
Um,
very good piece of kit.
Yeah, they are available now.
They are,
And
yeah, they are available. You can pick one. You can get it delivered in a week, I think. 'cause
How,
you-
how much are they?
like the base, I think, is 400 and
430.
something, and then they go up to 600 quid.
Mm.
People are saying to get the base one it's not. You
It's
need
best
to
to
at
go
least
middle of
go.
the road.
You need to
They,
go.
They
You
have
need
the
to be
middle of the road
spending
one.
500 odd quid on it, basically.
Okay.
So
So it's a PS5, a
He
portable
basically
PS5.
sold his PlayStation 5
Mm.
because he plays a lot of handhelds
Mm.
and bought one
Yeah.
to play high end games. And then, the GameCube emulator and stuff like that.
Mm.
It's amazing. Amazing.
That's good. It's good. It's good stuff. And we'll see. They will carry on doing this. There'll be a revised version, which will be loads better with probably a better screen. We are talking. This is going to be definitely high end. Switch sales have slowed, so there's going to be talk of a Switch successor. Nintendo have been playing about with doing a concept. The one thing I think,
successor. I've got it.
the one thing I do want to say is the console market isn't exciting without Nintendo because
no.
I am worried they're not going to do what I want them to do, which is just a more powerful Switch. Because Nintendo just go, well, let's just make something a little bit different, and then they do it and it's successful, and they go, let's just make something a little bit different, and let's just make something a little bit different, which is good. Whereas obviously PlayStation and Xbox, they're just goes, let's just make something a little bit more powerful. Let's just make something a little bit more powerful. Let's just make something a little bit more powerful. Let's just make this controller a little bit more slimmer. And let me just make this controller a little. Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's just like iterative rather than.
I agree. I think the next Nintendo console won't be like the Switch.
Which will be.
I've been saying that it won't be.
Yeah, you have. You've been saying it's console.
It'd be very odd for them because this is obviously the most. This is the most successful.
They'll probably
it's
go
now
back
at
to cartridges.
it's now at 114 million sold. It's their most successful console to date, hands down, easily, and it's still selling. The sales have slowed, of course they have. They're in 7th year, but they do. But anyway, discussion for another day. We are, yeah.
No, it's not. So it's
6th
17.
year, sorry. Yeah, 6th year. 6th year.
Yeah.
So we are. There isn't really any news to talk about, so we've talked mostly about games today.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going into his 7th year. That's what I was saying. We're going into the 7th year.
It came out the day before my birthday, March the 3rd.
March the 3rd be with you.
Oh, indeed.
Remember, that was a great birthday year. That was.
Happy memories.
Right. We are going on to our favourite segment of the show.
Callum's questions.
Oh,
yeah.
we forgot.
No, we haven't got the time. We haven't got the time.
Pictures, you got away with this time after the most depressing Callum's questions of the last episode.
We can do them if we want.
We'll save it.
He said he wasn't going to ask me because he was disappointed by my food choices.
We will save it. Callum's questions will return on the next episode of 16-Bit Rivals because we've probably got less games to talk about on the next episode. Probably just one if I can.
Yeah, I don't think there's any game that comes to mind that we'll be able to talk about the next one.
But yes, so we're on to our next segment, and this one will probably be a lot quicker. I just want to ask you a quick question. What do you think is my favourite letter of the alphabet?
Oh, tough question.
I'm going to say...
It's a good minigame, this.
N.
N.
Ooh, okay. Interesting choice.
What do you think is my favourite letter of the alphabet?
Z.
Z. Okay. Well, I want you guys to pick one of those letters for me. Z or N?
N.
N.
I mean, you would say N. You chose it. I was gonna do a coin.
Okay, you can
Right,
put
do
a
a
coin.
coin. Do a
Whatever
Okay.
you want to do.
It's the same on both sides.
If it's the Pokeball, it's N.
Mm.
If it's the Charizard, it's Z.
Mm.
It's the Pokeball, N.
N.
Lock it
Okay,
in.
excellent. Callum, what's your favourite question? Letter of the alphabet.
Never really thought about it before.
Think about it. Just
Okay.
pick a letter.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know. Oh no. The letter Y.
Y. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. Ridges. Pick a letter.
J.
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 Interested.
J's rubbish.
I would just like to say right now,
As opposed to what?
I'm
J's like bottom tier letter.
we're going to all play this game. And what do you reckon? 30 seconds, a minute?
I've got no idea what the game is. Yes.
No, I know.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
30
1 minute?
seconds.
30 seconds. Okay, so
I'm
let's
still reeling. I cannot believe you chose J.
Callum, I'm going to allow you to go third in this game. So you've got
I
advantage or
I
disadvantage.
chose J because when I write my full name, it's the first letter that I don't usually write.
Hey,
What?
say that again. it's it's the
my
first letter that you
full name.
don't usually write.
Yeah, when I use my name in full.
I don't know what you mean by
Is
that.
this a riddle?
It's the
My
first
name-
letter you don't
my
write.
name-
I know your name and I know
Yeah.
the J you're talking about, but I've got no idea what you mean.
So when I usually write my name
Yeah,
like, short,
yeah.
J is the first letter. Right, when I write it fully, it's the first new letter.
Okay.
I still don't get
I
what
don't
you
know.
mean.
That's why I just
Move on.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
where Floor's
So-
trying to think, what the hell is his name?
Yeah.
I'm going to go first because
It's Jacqueline.
Jacqueline.
Go on then, Flawed.
oh man. Okay, so basically this is just you've got to name as many
Oh no. Oh no.
video game
Oh no.
video games or characters. as
Oh,
you
we should
can.
have given him Z. He wouldn't be able to say Zelda. Oh.
Video
are we
game
on 30 seconds each of
characters,
Oh, I can only think of one.
as
Oh,
you
no.
can. I'm terrible at this type of thing.
Oh no.
And even though I knew what the game was, I didn't know what my letter was going to be. And as I am stalling for time, trying to think of the first one.
No, you
But
haven't
yeah,
the time. Go.
As many video game characters or games or levels, anything to do with video games.
We
Okay.
go at the same time.
No,
How-
Flawed's first.
So I'm
Okay.
first, then you are, and then because Callum chose the hardest letter, he got a bit more.
I've got
thinking time.
plenty. I've got plenty
Okay.
up here.
But
don't
I'm
you
going to
worry.
start now.
Okay.
N. Crap.
No, that doesn't begin with N.
N. Neo 1, Neo 2. Never ending story.
Is anyone timing this?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
6, 15, 18, 19. Oh, no,
Shouldn't have looked at the time.
No More Heroes 3. No More Heroes 2. No More Heroes 1. Apex Legends. Oh, that's it. That's my 30 seconds.
You
Go on.
missed- there was quite a
I think 6 is good there.
Nintendo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
and
no.
Nintendo Sports.
Yeah.
Nintendo's actually
Oh my
valid as well.
goodness.
I could have said Nintendo. I could have said
no.
Nintendo Switch, Nintendo.
You've had a
GameCube,
nightmare.
Neo Kuna, or whatever it's called. Neo.
Oh, yeah, Neo Kuni as well.
Yeah.
Neo Kuni. See, it's difficult. It's very difficult. Now all these things are coming to me
I mean,
There's-
after I've done it.
Callum could win
He,
quite easily.
he's
What?
got why?
Yeah,
What?
quite easily.
Okay,
We'll-
I
we'll
think
see
I know
now
your
afterwards.
thought. I've got the same thought.
I think he might name football
Yeah.
players.
Oh my word!
But anyway, let's
There's
go
not
on
that many
to
of
Bridges.
those
Bridges,
either.
what was your
Jay.
J,
Jay?
of course.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Jak and Dexter, Jak and Dexter 2, Jak and Dexter 3. Oh, James Bond, GoldenEye. James Pond 1, 2, 3. Jumanji the game. Jumanji 2. Back to
Surely
the
not.
Jungle.
Okay, I'm going to call Foul on. Is it called? Is GoldenEye called James Bond's GoldenEye?
No.
All right, it's
No.
not James Bond.
But James
Another Day.
Bond is a character in a video game as well. So James Bond, the character you could have. But
It's called
GoldenEye.
James Bond, Die Another Day, 007.
You didn't say that.
Die Another Day is another one.
It's over. You've had your time.
Yeah, you've had your time, mate.
It's just called
It was
Goldeneye, I think.
Or what else? What else, Jay? We could jump in. Is there a jump in game?
There's probably a character called John.
There is. Yeah, there's got to be a John.
Oh, John Wick, the game.
Yeah.
John Wick, the game. Yeah. It's very difficult, isn't it, when you have to come up with some like everything seems to go out your head. It's a
Well,
very,
I
very-
know I've already won, so. it's fine.
Okay, so
It's
here
fine.
we go then, Callum. Ready, steady, go.
Okay, the video character Yoshi. I've got nothing else. Yoshi 1, Yoshi 2, Yoshi 3, The Return of Yoshi, Yoshi 4, Return of the Yoshis, 2 of them. Yoshi 5, the Two
Come on,
Towers.
You know,
Yoshi-
you do know some
Yoshi-
fucking games. Come on.
Yoshi 7, The Fellowship of the Yoshi, Yoshi 8, A New Hope, and
That's your face. Take a
oh, 8. That's pretty
Cal?
good. That
Cal,
Yeah?
we weren't thinking the same. Yakuza 0, Yakuza,
Oh,
Yakuza
no.
2, Yakuza 3, Yakuza 4.
Yakuza like a dragon. Yoshi 1, Yoshi's Willy World, Yoshi. I don't know. There's
well, I got
Well,
8.
it's just
and
Rocket
they-
World.
Screaming at you.
nobody check, but I got 8 there, and they were all legitimate answers. So I think I won.
see, but to be fair, exactly, these things don't come to mind. Even though you actually, I mean, I think that was in the blooper reel, but you
Yeah.
quoted Yakuza before
I
we went
did.
live,
I did.
and you missed a very, very clear and obvious one.
I just had Yoshi. I managed to hide it quite well, but I had Yoshi in my mind, and
Do you know what?
I just rolled with it.
See, I don't even. I pronounce it Yoshi.
Oh,
Yoshi,
is it
yeah.
Yoshi?
I mean, but Yoshi.
Maybe I should get no points
But
then.
do you know what's funny though? When you said why, that didn't even come to my mind until you
Interesting.
said it.
Yeah.
Until you said
Yeah,
it,
Literally
I was like,
the
what's
only-
he gonna-
I
what's he
went
gonna say?
Yakuza.
I didn't even think Yakuza. I was thinking I can't think of anything.
Yakuza straight away.
So I'm
I was
terrible. at
trying
this
to think
game.
of something that isn't Yakuza or Yoshi.
You
Yellow.
yeah. That's very difficult. I'm just gonna do a quick
Why?
search.
Don't know. Don't know. I'm out. Yellow. There's
30
something
seconds
around
was
yellow.
very quick as well.
Yeah,
Very quick.
it was amazing that I got 8. Really,
It was amazing.
8 legitimate ones.
Oh, Eves as well. That's a game. Yokai Watch. Ukulele. The
What?
possible-
That's
yeah.
spelt wrong.
You've
As in you can lele.
ukulele.
No, ukuleles with a U, isn't it?
No,
Yeah.
it's not. No,
Yeah,
it's
it
not.
is.
No,
Yeah, it
not
is.
the game. Ukuleles
Well,
with
yeah,
a
yeah, obviously, I'm
Y.
talking about the word though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but we're not talking about the word. We're talking about the game. YouTuber's Life. I think there's a game called YouTuber's Life.
Oh,
There-
goodness.
There's tons of Yu-Gi-Oh games.
Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh,
There's tons of
no.
Yu-Gi-Oh games.
Oh,
There's literally loads
Yu-Gi-Oh.
of them.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh 1, Yu-Gi-Oh 2, Yu-Gi-Oh 3, The Fellowship of the Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah. Yokai Watch, Yu-Gi-Oh.
The Last Jedi, Yu-Gi-Oh.
I mean, you had Yoshi and Yoshi. There's both of them were called just Yoshi.
Yoshi's
So
Woolen
you-
World.
You got 2, yeah. Yoshi's Topsy Turvy, Yoshi Touch and Go, Yoshi's Cookie again, Yoshi's Crafted World, Yoshi's Island DS, Yoshi's New Island, Yoshi's Safari, Yoshi's Story, Yoshi's Willy's World. Yeah, quite a few. But yeah, But
Always.
that was a very quick mini game today. Ridgers did take it. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. Even though I think he had a good letter. I think Callum made it a bit difficult for himself. I mean, Zed. When you said Zed, I was thinking Zoo Tycoon, Zoo Tycoon, Zoo Tycoon, Zoo Tycoon, and nothing else. I could think of anything else. Oh, Zales, Sonic, Zinc,
Zelda.
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 I can't see what I mean.
You said Sonic before you said Zelda. Sonic.
See what I mean? It just the obvious ones go out of your head.
They do.
It's very very difficult. I feel like a minute might have been fairer, but
I disagree. I'm not sure I would have got many more in that minute.
Well, you could have got another 10 Yoshis, no?
True, that is a good point.
But yeah, that was fun, guys. It's good to get an episode in.
Yeah.
We are working on a Christmas special with some fantastic guests. We just need to get a date in to record that.
And then find some fantastic guests, because that's tricky.
Yeah.
There's a lot of terrible guests out there.
Yeah. And yeah, so we're doing exciting stuff. I've officially retired now from Twitch. Callum's very happy about that. Bridge is very happy about that. And the internet's very happy about that. God of War released, which means no topless podcasting from me, which the world is rejoicing. And yeah, and obviously we've got these lads, holding up the Twitch-averse. So we will just go around quickly, because you can find me here, obviously, on 16-Bit Rivals on many different platforms now: Spotify, Amazon Music, Amazon podcasts. Yes,
That's what we're doing.
Yes, that's what we're doing. Yeah, and yes, we're going to be moving up forwards. As you can see, we're experimenting a little bit with our format, with what we're recording with, trying to get things really good for you and really fun. There'll be more mini games to come, and we got more games to talk about. I didn't hear what he said.
Whatever's cheap.
Oh, whatever's cheap. Yes, sorry, whatever's cheap until we get monetized.
If anyone would like to sponsor us, we'll happily use your service.
Yes.
Massively.
Please. Also, before we do your guys' outros, what word are we going to use for the lovely people who have watched right to the end?
Nintendogs.
Nintendogs. Yeah. Okay, Nintendogs is good. Put Nintendogs in the comment, please, if you've got anything you'd like us to discuss, or anything you enjoyed, didn't enjoy. Top it in the comments. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a like. Subscribe. Share us wherever you can. Ridges, where can we find you?
You can find me here. Twitch, which is Ridges. Twitter, which is Ridges_. You might find me on YouTube, but mainly there.
Cool. And Callum, where can we
Why
find you?
Callum? Why Callum everywhere? Apart from Twitter, I've got a little underscore after me on Twitter, but other than that, why Callum?
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us for another episode of 16-Bit Rivals, and thank you again. Do the thing.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.